had some great role models in my parents. We grew up knowing that my parents loved us. We knew they loved each other. We knew they loved the Lord. When I was 15 years old, I met my husband, David. I was a freshman in high school. We dated all throughout high school. We were that couple that everybody knew was going to end up getting married. And 5 years later, we did get married right here in this very church. Pastor David married us. Life got pretty busy for us. We had 2 kids, bought our first home, decided to go into business together. We were very committed, very focused on our goals, full of ambition. But we kept God at a safe distance, kind of waiting in the wings in case we needed to call on him for something. But we were very disconnected, totally disconnected from God and from church. During that time, Pastor David would stop by every once in a while to kind of check in on us. We'd come back to church for special occasions or every now and then, but we were really just too busy and too focused on other things to even concern ourselves with God. Our parents were praying for us, but we would continue to take the very first off-ramp that we could and just go back into our own little world. Those turned into pretty dark days for us. We worked all the time, constantly worked. We surrounded ourselves with the wrong people that were really important and special to us, but they were the wrong people for us. We made really bad decisions, and I ended up in way over my head. I actually morphed into somebody I didn't recognize anymore. I was mean and angry. I was full of shame and felt things I never felt before, like failure. Every time I turned around, I was running into a brick wall. Couldn't make a good decision to save my life. We ended up coming back to church kind of out of a sort of desperation. We were kind of willing to try anything at that point. We ended up taking the Crown class. That very first night, the homework that we did for the Crown class, David and I sat down together and opened our Bibles together and prayed together for the first time in our marriage. And we started learning things together through that class, learning things like everything belongs to God. He gives and takes away. He makes all things good. These were all concepts I'd heard before, but never felt them before. I started praying for God to just make things simple for me. I had no discernment. I had no wisdom. I had no idea how to get out of my current situation. And God did. He answered those prayers. He made things very, very simple, painfully simple. The answer God gave me was, you have to let everything go, and you have to give God the control. Very, very hard decisions were made, but I made them with absolute clarity and certainty. Our business went down the tubes, got in way over our heads, and situations that I couldn't get out of. I owed more money than I could ever repay. The friendships that I valued so much turned really ugly. I saw people differently, and all my friendships kind of crumbled away on their own. We couldn't afford to live in our house that we absolutely loved. But God made it very easy. He gave us a situation. We were able to remodel it, to sell it, to pay off all of our business debts. It was an easy decision. It was that or lose it. Still left God out of that sometimes and would allow myself to feel all those bad feelings again, to feel the woe is me. But this time I was connected to God through this very church. I'd hear a message from Pastor David, or have a conversation with somebody out in the lobby, or if I was reading my Bible, a verse would jump out at me and just hit me right in the heart. And it would remind me that God is sovereign, that his ways are not my ways. And I'm really glad for that, because when God opens and closes the doors, there's no brick walls to run into. When we started taking Alpha, we made friendships with everyday people, normal people. We were in the same situations that we were in, but this time, with these friends, we could pray together. We could learn together. We were connected to God. David served in the building program, and when he built the Gray House, he made some of the greatest friendships we'll ever have. And he also made me very proud. He was committed and dedicated to something different, something that God was in control of. It takes David 30 minutes to walk in the door because he has so many hands to shake. Everybody loves him, especially after he started barbecuing for the men's group. But when God is at the center of those friendships and relationships, they don't crumble away. They don't end badly. It's been a few years, and I still struggle to stay focused, but God has led me through some amazing things. He literally led me by the hand to my very first job in 10 years through an illustration in a Sunday school class. That's a really great story. I would love a chance to tell someday. We started tithing faithfully, and God continued to provide faithfully. a new, different, better job, a great house, and a great school district with some really great neighbors. And I still screw up every day, even though I see the blessings all around me. I wake up and try to take back control. I call it ambition. I let myself get discouraged and frustrated and angry. But I realize that that is the result of the sin in my life. And after all, I think that's the point. Nobody can do it alone. I need God in my life. His ways are not my ways. I do need to be constantly reminded, and I need an on-ramp at every mile to get back on track. Bloomingdale Church is where I stay connected. I've developed some great friendships that keep me accountable. I can learn here, I can teach here, I can pray here and be prayed for. And each blessing just brings another reminder. The new addition is really exciting to me, not only because of my husband's role in it, but also because it truly is a tool for other people in this community to get connected to God and connected to us. Their lives will be changed forever as mine was. And it's also a tool for me personally to continue to grow and stay connected with God. Thank you.